I'm Jarrod Leland. I'm with Novozymes Biologicals Group. I'm a researcher working on bioinsecticides, specifically focusing on Metarhizium anisopoli, a strain F52 based bioinsecticides. The bioinsecticide that we have is based on a fungus. This fungus kills insects by going in through the external of the insect or the insect's cuticle. It's used as a replacement for chemical insecticides. It's an alternative that we're finding particularly useful as we see insecticide resistance grow in the world. It's something that we're launching particularly in high-value crops initially. This presentation was focused on soil-based applications. It's a fungus that naturally occurs in the soil worldwide, and therefore it's very happy in the soil and associated with the roots of plants, and therefore we've seen some very good efficacy on controlling insects. It goes into the insect and cycles in the insect's blood system, and then and can reemerge and infect other insects, although we don't rely on that completely. It's nothing that we've created. It's ubiquitous in soils around the world. It's been naturally isolated. There's been a lot of work with Metarhizium. A lot of the work, say for example in Africa, for African desert locust has been done. There's a long history with Metarhizium and other endopathogenic fungi. We're trying to make some improvements in it through formulation and try and bring it up to a new level. And I would say also the market forces have changed in the world, where growers have fairly limited options as to what chemicals they have available, and there's a lot more pressure on them to reduce residues, and because of that, the timing is right for this type of product. It has a reasonably broad host spectrum, which is of pest insects, which is good because we need a number of different markets. We are taking a hard look at beneficials. The growers that we work with, they use beneficials as a major part of their control strategy. So for us, it's not just a nice to have, it actually is critical for the growers. So far, the beneficials that we've looked at, we have seen quite a bit of compatibility. We think that it's something that could be integrated into a system where you use both beneficial insects and this fungus, which is a major selling point for us, for growers, because they need that integrated system. You can look at some insects that would come into a greenhouse system, for example, like ligas, where they don't have these selective chemistries, and you can wipe out your entire IPM program because of that. So it is something that we're looking at in combination with beneficial insects as a complete program for growers. In the soil, we've focused on vine weevils and thrips that have been a major target for us. As we move into more sprayed type application on the foliage, we've targeted thrips, whiteflies, mites, and ticks. When we discuss thrips, whiteflies, and mites, one of the main drivers of that is that they become resistant to insecticides. With something like ticks, the main driver is that there's a lot of people, particularly say in the northeastern United States, that don't want to use chemical insecticides in their backyard where their kids are going to be playing and that sort of thing. So those have been some of the major market drivers. We're currently selling the granular product. Most of that is going to Europe, although we do have registrations in the US and Canada at this point. We find that Europe is a bit more of a market driven because there are even less options to growers there. The emulsifiable concentrate version of it, which would be sprayed, we're kind of in the pre-launch market phase of that. We are getting it out with distributors and running additional trials. We certainly have we have a lot of trials with the sprayed-based product. We just don't have the final commercial packaged product and distribution worked out for that, but it's coming along pretty quickly. This is part of a wider range of products we have in agriculture with Novozymes. We have a number of products that are associated with acquiring nutrients, such as solubilizing phosphorus that's been bound in soil, or rhizobia for acquiring nitrogen. We also have a bacillus-based biofungicide product, and we have mycorrhizal-based products and plant growth promoting bacterial products. So it's an entire platform that we're focused on at Novozymes. I would say that we're a little bit unique in the history of biopesticide companies, that we really know microorganisms very well. We've been in this for 50 years, and we're investing heavily in agriculture. But we have a long history with microorganisms, and I think that that's going to be what's needed to take this technology to the next level. This symposium allowed for a direct interaction between people in industry and academia to truly address what questions are important to bring these technologies to growers. And I think that to focus on that was important in a symposium rather than just having it happen accidentally in the hallways. It was nice to interact with industry and academia with very practical discussions as to what's required to enter the market. Sometimes bridging that gap becomes difficult, and it's important to in the academic world to understand what questions need to be answered as we bring products to market. But at the same time, the companies don't have unlimited resources, so especially in these areas, we really do need to team up a lot with academia and have them help us answer our questions to make our products better.